here at Emporia State University. I think he's done a fabulous job. It's been a great get for us to have his leadership coming into this institution. And some of the things I'm going to report on today are a part of his great push and lobbying effort for Emporia State University. So deeply appreciate your leadership. We have a round of applause for Dr. I'm very pleased with his leadership. And also I want to compliment the legislature. This has been a tough season coming out of this recession. And now we're in a better position fiscally. We ought to end this fiscal year with probably over $500 million cash on hand. The first year I came in, we had a little less than $1,000 cash on hand for the state of Kansas. That's where we ended that fiscal year, and we ended this one with about $500 million. And I'm going to talk about the investment making it Emporia State University. But Don Hill, Jeff Longvine is a rep and senator for this area. Really done an outstanding job for you and for Emporia State University and for the state of Kansas. Really navigating through some tough seasons. I've talked to both these guys on a series of different votes we've had over the past 4 years, and there's been just there's been some difficulty, but they've been there and they've been excellent leadership, and I appreciate both of you for leadership. Investing in our system of higher education is critically important to the future of the state of Kansas. Last summer, I challenged the legislature to provide consistent funding for higher education. The discussions that took place during a tour of our region institutions were productive and meaningful. There was a tour of legislators that came to Emporia State and went to all the four-year higher education institutions in the state. And I think it was an excellent discussion. A number of legislators are new. Over half of the House of Representatives hasn't been there more than 3 years. So you needed to get to know the institutions in the place. We see the results of those discussions today with the increased funding for higher education, which I've been advocating. Our regent systems fuel our economic engine by creating a highly skilled workforce and nurturing the next generation of Kansas teachers, doctors, business people, and others. I thank the legislature for recognizing the importance of these funding requests and strengthening our universities. Emporia State, when I sign the budget, and I will receive over $572,000 in the salary cap restoration for this fiscal year. That piece is a bit unusual for the legislature in a current year to fund a current year. But last year, some of the salary cap hit Emporia State harder than any other four-year institution. So the restoration of a little over $500,000 for this fiscal year, and an increase of over $770,000 for next fiscal year for Emporia State University. On top of that, the legislature funded a $1 million game-changing program. As one of your leaders put it today, $1 million for Emporia State University Honors College. Creating an honors college, enhancing the university's reputation as a scholarly institution, and will help bring more honors students to Emporia State, to the state of Kansas, or to keep them in the state of Kansas. So I mentioned in here, I'm always looking for talent. You can never have too much talent. And one of the key things our higher education institutions can do is help us recruit or retain talent in the state of Kansas. So we need to have excellent institutions where students can get a high-quality education and go forward in the world. Now my hope is they get a great institution, great training here, maybe go some places around the world and come back. And make their career and their life here in the state of Kansas, because we need you, and we need your future, and we need your future invested here. So this is an important thing, us being able to do this. Your leadership has embraced it. I look forward to seeing what all comes out of the Honors College here at Emporia State University. Glad to see your enrollment topping over 6,000. It was a goal this year, and you hit it. There is enormous competition for higher education students, and there are a lot of options. Online, offline, location-wise, you can do it about any way you want to anymore. So you've got to be a good place, an excellent place, and a very competitive place, providing those sorts of opportunities that their students want. And the final thought, I know a lot of things can be done distance-wise anymore, and we need to do that, and it's a good way to preserve resources and get good training out the door. But still, at the end of the day, people need to talk to people. You got to invest in person, and you need to get to know the person. So I hope that, as always, these things we do on over the internet and in different ways, so at the end of the day, we focus a lot on relationship building, as that's how you can build trust and people working together as we move forward in the future. You do that at Emporia State University, and we're deeply appreciative as a state that you do those things here. Let me call up Vice Chairman of the Board of Regents, if I could, Kenny Wilk, for a comment or two, and I was going to ask the legislators if they wanted to make a comment. Kenny.
Well, thank you, Governor. On behalf of the entire Board of Regents, we want to publicly extend our gratitude and appreciation to the Governor for the enhancement here at ESU and the enhancements across the system this year. This was in his budget early on, and every inch of the way he's been there. I also want to publicly thank him for his commitment long-term to higher ed. This is the fourth budget cycle that we've gone through, and each year Governor Brownback has been very supportive of higher ed. Hasn't always come out on the other end like we hoped, but he'd always been there with his initial budget, and I can tell you from past experience, having been a past legislator, having a budget proposal in the governor's budget is a much better starting point than not. So thank you for the long-term commitment that you've had. Also, thank you for the open door policy. I want folks here to know that we frequently call upon the governor. As regents, and his door is always open, he always sees us. Hard issues, easy issues, he's always there. And he's also got an open door policy to all of our leadership. Our leadership all has an excellent relationship with the governor and the administration, and we thank you for that. And I think because of those relationships, we're where we're at here today. President Shenrock, to you and your entire team, again on behalf of the full board, we want to extend our appreciation for the hard work that you put in to this all occurring here today. And I also want to take just a moment and tip my hat not only to Senator Longline and to Representative Hill, and certainly thank you, but to thank all of the legislature for their continuous support. And I want to ask each of you to do something for us, for me, for the Board of Regents today. You know, we frequently get in front of groups like this when we're asking for something. And we say to you, here's what we're asking for, and you need to contact your legislator and you need to let them know they need to support this. Well, today I want to suggest to you that you need to contact your legislators and you need to thank them. Would you please consider doing it? These folks have very tough, hard jobs. And the governor and I were comparing notes flying here, and I was sharing with him a brief story about when I was in the legislature. I had a 6th grade class one time. They asked me, they said, how do you know how to vote? And I said, well, let me explain it to you this way. You don't really know how to vote, but when you get it wrong, you get all kinds of feedback. Whether you're gassing up at the gas station, the grocery store, wherever you're at, and I know these folks know what I mean. I think these folks got it right, so please let them know how much you appreciate them getting it right. For you students that live here, thank these folks. For those of you that live in other communities, please let your legislators know what they have done and thank them for doing it. So I would appreciate it if you do that. And lastly, I just want to say, again, on behalf of the full Board of Regents, we're grateful for these new funds. We promise to be good stewards and to demonstrate once again how we appreciate the new funds and the existing funds we get, and to make sure that we all work together now to deliver on the promises that we've made. So again, thank you for being here.
Governor, I would like to publicly thank you for coming to Emporia State University today, but more importantly, your support of higher ed, not only this year, but as I said, many years since you've been in office, and your recognition of the job that we're doing at Emporia State University under Microsoft leadership. We are one of the few institutions that have growing enrollment. We took a very tough salary cap cut last year, and that was particularly difficult for an institution that's growing, but they rolled up their sleeves and got to work and made it work, and certainly happy to have that money back. I think as we continue under this leadership team, you'll see some great things coming out of Emporia State. Fingers up.
I want to add my word of welcome and my word of gratitude, certainly to the governor, but also the Board of Regents. My level of confidence has never been higher than it is now in the Board of Regents, their purpose, their attentiveness and emphasis, and I'm grateful for that. I think if we were here in this room during the tour, and that was what, in November, or if we were, even after the governor's State of the State message in January, we were to project forward into May, what chance did we really think there would be that we would see the kind of success that we have now in Senate Substitute for House Bill 2506. It's almost $2.5 million of revenue to Emporia State University, and it couldn't have happened at a better time for a finer institution. To the governor, we've had some interesting meetings over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we were together talking about your principles for this piece of legislation, and we agreed upon that completely. We were together talking about the policies in this legislation, and we had some disagreements, but came to a place where we understand the process is a process of compromise. We were together talking about the pay-fors, and couldn't be more pleased for Emporia State University at the outcome. Having said that, Emporia State University is the premier teacher preparation institution in our state, and this same piece of legislation leaves some challenges and some concerns for K through 12 and for the profession of teaching. So we've got some challenges there that I think we'll have the opportunity together to tackle. I know you're going to be interested in that, as we in the legislature will be. If there's anybody nearly as pathologically optimistic as President Schonrock is me, so we are going to be positive. We're going to be grateful. We're going to make the very best of a little bit more abundant resources, just as we've made the best of scarce resources in the past 12 months. And again, thank you, Governor, for your part and your leadership. Thank you for being here.
Thank you all for being out. Thanks for your support and your heart for this institution, for this state. Appreciate that. And delighted that we're able to stop here and bring some good news. Have a great day.